Guys, we need to address this, guys. I am not AI. Stop calling me AI. I'm a real person. Look, see, I am real. Just because I'm 26 and I may look younger doesn't mean I'm a fake person. I am a real person, okay? People that edit aren't AI, okay? This is me when I'm AI. Look at that. I'm more Asian than CZ. This is someone in my Discord that did an image of that, okay? And if you're not in the best crypto community Discord, what are you doing? It's free. Join now. You got no excuse. Anyway, guys, I have 5 main reasons why ZBCN will be explosive this year. So there are a lot more reasons than 5, but these are like the 5 main ones, and I might have an extra one near the end because there's way too many, but you want to stick around to the end. The further we go up the list, the more important in my opinion. So the first one is that ZBCN is not even listed on any tier 1 exchanges. So at the moment we have around 20 known centralized exchanges, but we are missing the main ones like Kraken, Binance and Coinbase. Also Robinhood. But I am going to get into a little bit of a rant here because there's the people that just say, all right, we just need Coinbase and Binance and then we're all sorted. Okay, somewhat I can agree with that because the exchanges do bring value, but I do believe that there is a right place and a right time to list on an exchange because there's been certain coins that's been listed quite recently on Coinbase, like Fartcoin, Useless, etc., and it did absolutely nothing. It did absolutely nothing in crap conditions. Ondo Finance got listed on Robinhood along with Sui, and it did absolutely nothing. Yes, when the market picks up, you want to be on all these tier 1 exchanges. You know, the people that keep commenting on my post saying we need Coinbase, we need Binance. Yes, okay, we do need it, but that's not the main thing, guys. It's not a meme coin. The exchanges aren't gonna be the catalyst that drives it. That's why I rank it at the first one. It's important because it brings volume, okay? I cannot argue with that. That's the first reason. Coinbase Ventures is an early backer of Zebec Network, so I'm pretty sure that Coinbase, Binance, Kraken all know about ZBCN. Let's get on to the second one. So the second reason I believe this is a big catalyst for Zebec, which is coming this year, the Zebec SUPERAPP. There hasn't really been much information about this. They are releasing a super app which is like Revolut on steroids, bringing in more retail users, making it a more easy experience to use the platform, which will enable more people to spend on the cards. So the more new users that discover this, with more people buying the Zebec card, that will go into the token buyback program. The more people that uses the card, okay, it is a feeless card, so the team does not earn any money from the fees. It's completely feeless, but they do earn money from the Zebec card. So the more people using it, the more enterprise clients, etc., that goes into the token buyback program. So if you don't know, in September the 16th, we've got a token monthly unlock, and usually token unlocks are bad. The team do monthly buyback programs, so they buy a certain amount of supply of the tokens and then burn them, remove them from circulation. So it's a deflationary system, and the more money they earn from people using the cards, like buying it and using it, well, it goes into the token buyback program, and the more tokens that they buy and remove, that increases the price of ZBCN in the future. So I'm going to play a clip from Simon explaining about the super app because there's not much details about it yet, but how it brings retail users to the Zebec ecosystem. Take a look at this.
Well, the super app is going to be the ultimate way for Zebec to attract retail users at a mass scale. When you think about it, right? It brings all of these great tools that we've built into a seamless, consumer-friendly mobile application that people will use to manage their payroll, manage their cards, and really get more familiar with crypto in general. So we're very excited to be rolling it out later this year.
Third one, and I was debating to myself whether this is third or fourth. The next one is their compliance roadmap. Catalyst that they are aiming for is ISO20022 compliance by the end of the year. So for those of you that don't know what ISO20022 is, basically like a financial messaging language that the banks use to communicate with each other while sending money cross-border payments, because every bank, like the Bank of Japan, Bank of America, they all have their own digital language. ISO 222 is coming in November November 2025. All right, it was meant to come out earlier this year, but they've been delaying it, and now they are set in stone that it's going to happen in November 2025. Why is this a big catalyst? Because you're probably thinking, hang on, ISO 222 has nothing to do with crypto. It's about financial messaging. Yes, you are correct, right? It is about financial messaging. Nothing really to do with crypto. The reason why this is so bullish is because the banks will probably play an important role in crypto. Banks can issue their own stable coins.
I think it's all very early at this point. I think we've seen the news from Bank of America that they're considering issuing a stable coin. JP Morgan, who we already work with closely, they're looking at issuing a stable coin, I think.
Which can be a good thing and a bad thing. A good thing because the stablecoin market is growing. It's worth around 300 billion market cap and growing even more. Now, people estimate that it's going to be worth $1 trillion market because stablecoins actually have a real use case. For example, USDC is pegged to the dollar and has US-backed treasuries, and Zebec is in the Circle Alliance program. So you got companies like Ripple, Stellar, HBAR, Algorand, Quant, XCC, all ISO 222 compliant, and they know that the banks are going to get involved in crypto. So by them being regulated and compliant, if the banks decide to make their own stable coins that's backed by US treasuries, being ISO 222 compliant means that when the banks roll in, that Zebec now have communication of the banks because they speak the same digital language. So it is a good thing to have when the time comes, and it's coming faster than you think. So ISO 222 compliance can put Zebec in the right side of history, because I do believe that 99% of all these cryptos are going to die and they'll never come back, and the ones that are compliant will be the last ones standing. The fourth reason is Zebec have massive partnerships. They have had early backers since 2021. They have had Coinbase Ventures, Solana Ventures, Circle, Breyer Capital, and Lightspeed Ventures investing in Zebec in 2021, investing over 35 million USD. But the main partnership I want to lay out is that Zebec have really close ties with Circle, the creator of USDC, pegged to the dollar and has US backed treasuries. So the stablecoin Genius Act that just came out kind of relates to USDC. And Zebec's ecosystem all evolves around USDC, like their token buyback program, their ZPIN. So Zebec are part of the Circle Alliance program announced in May 2025. And also Simon, the CEO, has hinted if Circle wins, so does Zebec.
Given our long-standing relationship with Circle, of course, we're a member of the Circle Alliance program. So we are all in on USDC right now. And when Circle wins, so does Zebec.
Circle is now applying for their bank license. They are also hinting of a Ripple partnership or something that they're working on. They're working on a product launch together, in the words of Simon, the CEO. Nothing confirmed. Take a look.
Well, I mean, we've been hearing it more and more recently. I'd say at Zebec, we have a ton of respect for Ripple and XRP and what they've built. I mean, in fact, we've been in talks with them now for the past couple of weeks about a potential product that we're working on together. So I'm not going to get into too much detail there, but we're definitely on their radar. And I'd say it's definitely a company that Zebec respects a lot. Now, the similarities between Zebec and XRP really come down to the markets that they're serving. Ripple, you can give a lot of the success to the size of the problem that they're trying to solve. So if they're tackling global remittance, alone that market is shy of $800 billion in US terms. Now, when you look at payroll, which is the problem that Zebec is trying to solve, the payroll market in the US alone in volume is north of 10 trillion. So both massive markets, which is why I believe that Ripple has been able to get to the size it has. And Zebec, I believe, is on a similar trajectory.
Number 5, final biggest catalyst, in my opinion, why Zebec can be explosive this year is Zebec is it's a DeepIn project, but it also fits into the RWA and stablecoin narrative, which has not happened yet. And in crypto, you want to be in these narratives because a certain type of narrative will make certain coins explode. So back in 2017, we had a layer 1 bull run. Anything that was layer 1 was exploding. Then we've had memes like Dogecoin and Shiba and other memes. We had a gaming narrative, Gala Games, for example, Metaverse, NFTs, and we've had the most recent one, AI agents, back in last year in the end of 2024. And I remember that when AI and AI agents was popping off, anything that was in that category did a 10x minimum. But the shift is now, in my opinion, RWA, and stablecoins is basically RWA. It's a real real use case. Zebec were working on stablecoin payroll before stablecoins was even popular. Stablecoin adoption is on the rise, and with the biggest ones being Tether and USDC, stablecoins is worth 300 billion market cap and set to be predicted to be in the trillions. You know, banks are starting to get involved, and they will not buy all these stablecoins. They will make their own stablecoins, like JP Morgan, Bank of America. They will make their own, and this will be linked with the Genius Act. Because Zebec are part of that stablecoin narrative, they can integrate all the stablecoins on their cards, and the more stablecoins they integrate, and say the stablecoin market does explode, well, guess who were the first mover advantages of that narrative? Zebec Network. They can integrate all these stablecoins like USDC, RLUSD, USDG, and the more people that use their card will go into the token buyback program. That's why it's so bullish for Zebec. But I'm going to play a final clip of one of their spaces of Dr. Martin from Uphold explaining why this is such a big use case that Zebec is building, and it fits into the stablecoin narrative. Take a look.
Stable coins are going to explode for one simple reason. Nobody wants to spend their Bitcoin. Nobody wants to buy a fucking cup of coffee for 0.0000 something, fluctuating by the second.
Okay, that was quite funny. Right, I'll keep playing.
And stable coins are, as long as people get paid in fiat money, in money that whose value they can assign to their costs, right? You don't get a bill for your rent in crypto. You don't get the gas bill in fucking XRP, right? You get it in actual money that runs the economy. So crypto hasn't taken over. Right? If you try to run your books in ETC, which I've done for over a year just to prove a point, it's very confusing. Nobody's going to do that. We live in societies. Societies are ruled by governments in democratic societies and any other, and they work with this money. The money assigns value. I know I need these 300 euros to pay my rent at the end of the month, at the end of the week, right? So as long as this is the case, stablecoins will rule, and this is one of the reasons why I'm optimistic. One of the reasons why XRP introduced the RLUSD, right? For the longest time, we were all so crypto deluded. We thought that governments would send each other billions of dollars in XRP, right? Or in Bitcoin, right? That was never going to happen, and it never happened, and it never will. They need to send the exact amount of dollars and euros in the end, and for that, the stablecoin market is absolutely explosive. At Uphold, we have listed so many stablecoins, especially USDC, on every single network that we can find. You can send your USDC on, I think, 30 different chains at Uphold, because the chain doesn't matter. That's the underpinning. For the user, what does count for the user? It's the ease of use. That's why Apple is successful, because it hides all the complexity of a phone. Nobody cares anymore what's inside the computer.
Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.